Hey guys, this is Shiro. This is my first video, so I really hope you'll enjoy it. Before I'll talk about today's topic, I'd like to give you a short introduction to what I'm going to be talking about on this channel. It's going to be anime, manga, stuff that annoys me, and if there's something interesting happening in my life, I'm going to tell you too. So, yeah. Now let's move on to why I actually wanted to make this video. Okay, here's the thing. Everyone I know thinks Clannad After Story is better than Clannad. Even everyone I met on the internet says so, but yeah, I kinda don't think so. I think Clannad is better than After Story. But before I continue talking, this video contains heavy spoilers in both Clannad and Clannad After Story, so if you haven't watched either of these series, just go and watch them right now. And yeah, stop the video. You can watch the video after you're finished with the series, because yeah, I kinda don't want to spoil the endings to you, okay? And just to make things clear, I am not hating on Clannad After Story. Like, nope, not at all. I love After Story. I gave it a 9 out of 10, and I really don't do that much. 9 out of 10 means it was almost perfect, and it most certainly was. But yeah, still, I think Clannad was a little bit better. First, let me talk about why I think Clannad was that amazing. Well, do you remember episode 9? That was when Fuko disappeared. Fuko was that shy little girl carving starfish and trying to invite people to her sister's wedding. And her sister was a teacher at the school. But there was one problem. Fuko was actually in a coma and in a hospital, and yeah, her conscience was there, but she wasn't physically there, so people started to forget her. And in episode 9, at her sister's wedding, she completely disappeared, and I couldn't stop crying at all. I mean, for me, she was the best female character of the entire series. I loved her so much, really. But when she disappeared, I was devastated, and that was the first time I ever cried at any anime ever. And yes, I did watch Angel Beats and Anohana, but no. Episode 9 of Clannad was way worse, for me at least. Then there's Tsunohara Yohei. I mean, that was Tomoya's best friend, the blonde guy. I think he's just hilarious. Like, he's just getting kicked all the time, and he's just making funny jokes and saying stupid things all the time. And in Clannad After Story, he isn't really that present, or at least Clannad After Story in itself isn't as funny because he isn't there that much. So yeah, I kind of think the mix of sadness and all of these funny jokes that Tsunohara just brings into the show makes Clannad a little bit better. You might still be wondering, why the hell does he think Clannad is better when After Story is so perfect? Well, After Story isn't as perfect as you might think, and yeah, I have 3 reasons why. First of all, there's this robot and the little girl. Like, it was what felt like every second episode there was this kind of sequence where you just saw a robot and a little girl, and they were interacting with each other, or kind of the girl was interacting with the robot. And you were thinking, what the fuck is going on here? I have no idea. I mean, it seemingly had no connection to the story whatsoever, so yeah, it was kind of strange. And while it wasn't explained what this meant yet, it was just kind of boring for me. Extremely boring, and I had to force myself to keep watching. Secondly, there was this time when Ushio died. Ushio was Tomoya's daughter, and she died of the same illness as Nagisa a few years before. It was incredibly sad, but after that happened, everything went back to Nagisa gave birth, and now she was fine, she wasn't dying, she survived. But Tomoya kept his memories, and everything kinda seemed like a strange dream to him. Let's be completely honest, this was the first time anything like this ever happened in Clannad. I mean, in the first season, there was this time with Fuko. That was the only supernatural thing ever happening. But there just being a conscience of a person near to people they kind of like while they're in a coma is on a complete different level than, you know, rewinding time, altering it, and making Tomoya keep his memories. This is just, yeah, it's on a completely different scale, and yeah, that's a little bit over the top, Clannad. It really is. And lastly, there is the end itself. I mean, I cried out of happiness, I have to admit it. I mean, Fuko was there, and I love Fuko so much. And everything was perfect. That's exactly how I wanted the series to end. But yeah, when I think back on it now, it didn't fit. It really didn't fit. I mean, if we thought about it realistically, what should have happened would have been Ushio died and Tomoya just got more depressed, and then he'd be like, his alcohol problems would get worse, and he'd get to think about, why the hell is this happening to me? First my wife died, and then my daughter died after I finally got close to her, and she died of the same illness as my wife just years before that. I mean, I'd be devastated, and to be honest, it would have been the perfect ending if Tomoya killed himself. I know that's a really harsh thing to say, it really is, but let's just think about it. Clannad, the entire series is about making you depressed, and when you're on the ground, it's kicking you in the guts just to make it even worse. To make it sting even worse. And when you think, oh my god, is it finally over? Will there be some happiness? Then they kill Ushio off. And you're even more depressed. Well, if they ended it with Tomoya dying, I would have been completely broken. I would have cried for weeks. But, yeah. It would have made it some kind of... it would have made it a masterpiece. Think about it, there's no series that its entire point is to make you so depressed that you just, you don't hate it, but you love it because it made you that depressed. It's kind of fucked up, I admit that, but yeah, I think that would have made it even more unique and even better. But what are your guys' thoughts about that matter? I mean, would you have preferred it if Clannad After Story ended badly, or do you think, yeah, nah, Clannad After Story ended the right way, even though it seemed kinda rushed? But yeah, just let me know in the comments below. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and if you didn't, just leave me a comment and tell me what you didn't like about it so I can make it better in my next videos. Thank you. If you want to see more of my videos in the future, then just hit the subscribe button, and I'll try to make at least one video a week. If there's anything in particular you want me to talk about, no matter what, just any anime topic or manga topic in general, just leave me a comment and I'll try to make a video about it. Well, see you guys next time. Bye!